How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Forever Arsenal podcast. It's all smiles, and the game just finished literally a few hours ago. We're not up on Monday morning, 8 a.m.
Yes, that's why we're on the lash.
What a result. Instead, my Sunday night's been taken from me.
Well,
I'm still drinking. Don't worry about it. Cheers.
it's better than a Monday morning, James, I think, especially with all the stuff you got to do for tactical insight and the notes that Graham provides and whatnot. So, yeah.
Big up Graham's notes.
Thank me later, man. Thank me later. It's a Sunday night, people. It's 11 p.m. Like I said.
Hold on a minute. Graham's he's out tonight doing his notes.
Graham sends me notes around 2 a.m. Between
2 a.m.?
midnight, 2 a.m. Yeah. He's
He
working
should be
through
asleep.
the night to provide you a show you can enjoy, Lee.
He should be asleep, the boy. No wonder he's asleep after the show or during it, because he's up all night, you know what I mean?
He's
Unbelievable.
dedicated to his craft.
He's a professional. He's a professional.
Yeah, I like that though, don't you? That's why it's a good show, because he's obviously taking it very serious, isn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, shut up, Lee. Let's get on with it.
Yeah, let's get on with it, because listen, we've just beaten United 3-1. It's the international break now, so there's a couple of weeks off, and it's the best way to go into it, especially after that Fulham draw. We've got 10 points out of 12 people, and it's a 3-1 win against United. At times, it didn't look like we was going to get the win, but we got the win in the end. And then it was very similar circumstances to last season, where Eddie got a last-minute winner, but I do think this one's slightly better, because United fans did think they nicked it with their Garnacho goal, ruled out offside. Very close, but we've had those before go against us, so we will take it. And then we got the win in the end. And the winner essentially scored by the 105 million man. I don't think I could have picked a better player to score that goal, when you really think about how much pressure is under coming in for that price tag, and essentially being also, maybe not today, but being asked to provide on the attacking front too, because Xhaka did that last season. So big up Declan Rice. We're going to get into it all, but big up Jordan, big up Lee, and big up James as always. Hit the like button, people. Let's get up to 1,000 likes. And Lee, you was at the game. I saw you after, because I made my way down. I've never left the studio to do a fan cam outside the stadium, but I thought this was the right one to do.
Appropriate as well. Appropriate.
100%.
But I thought you was at the game, because you seemed very happy. But look at old Jordan up there. He's obviously he's only caught the highlights, hasn't he? You know what I mean? He hasn't caught the real atmosphere of it all. I'm going to be really honest. I'll be really honest. I think I know Jordan's not too happy with the performance. I probably wasn't. I've just been caught up in the emotion of the game and all of the stuff today, the atmosphere, and I think that's took over me today. Because I don't think it was a great performance. I thought Man United were looking very, very. Every time they went forward, whether it was them being so good or us being so poor at the back at times, that I thought they was going to score every time. We was put into some really precarious defending situations, which we done very, very well in. But for me, I thought the game was lost, guys. When that ball went in, 2-1, 88th minute, you're thinking, oh my God, I'm thinking, we're middle table. It's not, we're 5 points off of Man City already. The title's gone, everything like that. And then I don't know if you was noticing, Jesus was arguing with the referee because he thought it was a foul. I've seen it. It was never a foul. And I'm thinking, you ain't going to give it and all that. And all of a sudden, up on the big screen, it came up, checking offside. It was like a gift from heaven. It was a gift. It was a gift. And I thought, and then I don't know if you noticed, but the crowd went absolutely mad before the decision had been made. I don't know if you noticed that.
No.
Everybody was celebrating before the decision came up, because obviously people had heard it was. I see it on my WhatsApp group. It's offside. It's been given offside, and then obviously it went from there. And then from that moment on, madness, guys, absolute madness. And when that second goal went in, the atmosphere, when that goal went in, the crowd, it went mental. It was fantastic. Just to be there was fantastic. But when the third goal went in, Jesus got the third one. It went up another level. It was just unbelievable. I know I'm probably going too overboard because I'm getting involved in the emotion of it all. But I wouldn't swap that last 10 minutes for 100% better performance and whatever. It was sensational. It was just, that's what football and going to games is all about. I'm sorry, I know, like, you know, we haven't got the result last week, but for the atmosphere, I criticised the atmosphere last week. Oh my God, it was unbelievable, the atmosphere in the whole game. And at the end, I went down to see Kevin because Kevin was working on pitch side and he was working next to Gary Neville and Roy Keane. To see their faces, it was a picture, lads, an absolute picture. I wish I took a photo of it. They was like, you know, it was like they're going to a funeral, you know what I mean? It was fantastic, you know what I mean? So come on, I know, like, it weren't great, I know that, but sometimes it's about getting the 3 points, getting the result. And I'll tell you what, guys, we was out there in America. They give it to us big time.
Yeah.
We lost a friendly. You know what I mean? Come on, remember it, like, you know. Yeah. old KG and Flex today, like they had to get their custard with their humble pie, and I bloody loved it. There you go.
They did. And you know what? When you said the last 10 minutes you wouldn't swap it for anything else, I said pretty much the same on my fan camera. I think they're well overdue a thrashing by us because, like I mentioned before, I haven't forgiven them for a few things over the course of my life. 8-2 and Van Persie being two of those. But if it's not a thrashing, then give me that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's allowed goal in the 88th minute and 2 goals in the 90 whatever minute it was to win
96 and 101.
Is that what it was?
96 and
Incredible.
101.
With Declan Rice getting it. It was literally perfect because, you know, like I said, especially before international break, pressure's lifted off Declan Rice's shoulders for the short term.
Just one thing I have to say, that they kept playing the Declan, you know, like at the end, they played the Declan Rice song. They normally play 2 or 3. They just played the Declan Rice song all the time, like, you know. So
well, the Rice Baby one.
Yeah, so big up to the announcer because he just kept playing it and the actual crowd was just singing it. It was just, you know what I mean? Like, you know, everybody's shaking their hips, giving it Lars Rice. But, you know what I mean? Come on, that is what it's all about going for. Like, come on, Jordan, it's what we pay out money for.
Cecil's in a room somewhere thinking, oh, now it's cool. Now you're all enjoying the song. Never when I did it.
From Cecil out there, I'm telling you that. It was people in their 60s dancing better than Cecil for that song. It was absolute. Everybody was just going mad on it. It was fantastic. You know what I mean? At the end there, everybody was singing and he was walking around the ground. And you know, it finished and he played it again, the announcer. You know when the announcer, he knows it was the right time to do it. Like, it was proper, like, you know what I mean? So
when
done.
a DJ's got the club in the palm
he
of his hand.
Yes,
he
he did. He had everybody in the palm of his hand and he milked it. And good luck to him and well done.
Good on him. James, we done the watch along, so I'm gonna go to Jordan next. Are you gonna dismiss Lee's allegations of highlights? Did you watch the game or?
No, I watched the whole game. I rebuke Lee's accusation and allegation that I'm a part-time Arsenal fan. Thank you very much.
That's pushing it.
Not even part-time.
Freelancer.
Indeed. It's probably best I go before James. James can bring the vibe back up because I've got a lot to say. So first thing I want to say is I advise everybody to go and watch Sharoy's fan cam. There's only 2 or 3 fan cams I watch. You know, I don't watch you lot because I like to hear what you guys have to say fresh on the pod here. But Sharoy, Curtis, Dan Potts, they're the only 3 that I really listen to. Sharoy, apart from one thing he said, literally said everything else that I was thinking. The second thing before I get to the game is just as a football match.
What did Sharoy say?
I'll get to that in a second. I'll get to it in a second. But just as a football game, up until 75 minutes, it was a crap game. Forget what side you support. It was a crap game.
Yeah,
I thought it was a really rubbish, nothing game. It's like the quality wasn't high on the. So just as a neutral, if I was a neutral looking at that, it was a crap game. Now,
I agree with that.
As an Arsenal fan, I'll go for the negatives first, briefly. Shut up. I'll go for the negatives first because there's a lot more for me than positives. Again, I don't think Arsenal played particularly well. It's always difficult. It's always difficult saying that a team that wins by 2 goals didn't deserve to win the game because you can maybe by 1 goal edge it, 2 goals, it looks a bit more convincing. I'm not sure Arsenal deserved to win that football game. Not because I thought United were particularly great, but I think Arsenal disappointed me so much. I don't remember too many obvious chances. I know Havertz should have scored. I know Saka definitely should have scored. I think Martinelli put one just wide from a corner. But beyond that, I couldn't believe how not dominant we were of Man United. This is not a good United team. And in that first half, they were relatively comfortable. I was so disappointed with that. So I'm looking through this through the prism of a team that's allegedly going for the title. And I know it's early, but I don't subscribe to this idea that we just won the match. So that's all that really matters. Because at this stage of the season, performances matter. Today, we got away with it, guys. We got away with it today. But on another occasion when it really matters, with that performance, we're not going to get away with it. So I wasn't impressed with our performance. The only two players for me that I'll single out for praise in the game were Martinelli. I thought in the first half, he was the only player that was looking like we can do anything. And I thought Gabriel was immense at the back. I thought Gabriel was so solid at the back. They're the only two players for me that come out of any real praise. The subs obviously won the game for us, Vieira and Jesus. But over the course of the 85 minutes, those are the only two players for me that came out of it looking strong. I thought Saka was awful, ineffective, and awful. And I think we should say that we all love Saka. Saka did nothing today. Absolutely nothing. And I thought it was harsh for Martinelli to be subbed off and not Saka. Of the two, you know I prefer Saka. But let's be real. Martinelli was significantly better than Saka. Saka did nothing, not good enough. And Zinchenko coming into the midfield, I thought was positive, but we didn't take advantage of the extra man. We had an extra man in midfield, but it never looked like we had an extra man. I thought we looked leggy after an hour. After an hour, we looked knackered. Nobody was running. After an hour, it looked like we've been playing 6-7 months of the season. I don't understand why we look so tired in the match as well. I thought the referee had a really good game, apart from, and I'm going to say it, I'm not convinced the Garnacho goal is offside. I'm prepared to be convinced. I'm not convinced it's offside. So I think we might have got away with one there, but cool, we take it. The penalty that was overturned, Havertz, I thought at first was a penalty. It's not a penalty. Contact doesn't mean foul. If there's contact, but I don't think it's a foul. I thought the referee had a really good game, actually.
Does that normally get overturned, though?
No.
Because I agree with you. I don't think it's a penalty. But I think we've seen, probably since the introduction of VAR, up to 20 to 30 of those kind of fouls. Someone's going to challenge me to go find them. And I don't think a single one has been overturned.
I agree.
So is that a clear and obvious error? Not for me.
First one
I'm not going to do too much, because I also agree they came to the right decision that it shouldn't be a penalty. But I think we've been hard done by in terms of the standards they've set.
I agree with that.
First one overturned with contact.
Fair enough.
You look at Rashford's one last week, right?
Yes.
He dived before he's had contact, but they turned around and said, there's contact, that's why there was a penalty. It's exactly the same today.
Yeah.
And it's been overturned. So where's the consistency?
Yeah. That's the only thing. But I agree, it shouldn't be. If in real time they haven't given it, I'm saying fair play. It's like the Eze one. Eze had one against us that Monday night. There was a little bit of contact, but they deemed him to be going down before. So I thought they came to the right decision. But they never gave
more
it.
of a pen, if anything. I thought that was slightly more of a pen.
If that was given, James, if the referee would have given that on the pitch, that would never have been overturned.
No, I think that's probably.
Why is it always us? I
think that's fair to say. Well, I don't know about agenda against us, but I think it's fair to say that it's harsh that the first time they overturn it is against Arsenal. It's unfortunate. But my overall point is, I don't think we were particularly good today. And I think that the last 10 minutes, there was energy, all the subs were brilliant and won the game for us. But let's not pretend. I think it's harsh on United. I think a draw after 85, 90 minutes is a fair result. I don't think we did enough to say that we were significantly better than them. Their objective was to get out there with a point, because they're not very, very good. Lee swearing at me. Let's just be honest.
I hate them. I'm sorry. I hate them.
Lee, I actually hate United more than Spurs. So believe me, we won the game in those circumstances. It is. But for me, it's United more so. So I'm glad we won the game. Believe me. But let's be honest and let's be real. We weren't good. In that first half, we didn't offer much. And I think we can get carried away with how we won the game. But over the course of the season, that performance won't win you the title. And that's how I'm looking at it. You guys were there. So the emotion is obviously still bubbling. And I get why you guys are vibing. But when you look at this as a cold performance, that was not good enough. That doesn't win you the title. Those are my points. Oh, so the upside,
I totally agree with that.
the upsides was we won the match, so you got the 3 points, great. And I think the other upside is the fact that it's another late win. Now you could argue that it's a bit desperate, kitchen sink at it, but it's another late win where the team have kept believing, kept pushing, and scored a really good goal. Oh, sorry, the third and final positive, Declan Rice. I agree with Turkish. That goal is massive for him. I think he needed a goal where the fan base can really. He's a fan favorite already because of his personality, but you score the winner, and it's a shame that Jesus scored the third then because it's not the winner anymore.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
you scored the yeah. So what's that? But you scored what was meant to be the winner, and in those circumstances, I wanted him to have his moment. I wanted him to be the headline maker because I think that's a moment between him and the fans. So another big moment for him as well.
I think he was the headline because I know you didn't mention him, but I thought he was the best player on the pitch, Declan Rice. Yeah. I thought the amount of ground he had to cover. Let's be really honest about what Arteta's asked him to do. Last year was Partey, you're the 6, you sit, but Xhaka's going to tuck in and help when we don't have the ball. Then he'll get forward when we do, but then Zinchenko will come in. In this game, Rice had to cover so much ground on his own, and he's been asked to do that quite a lot already. He's going to continue to be asked to do a lot of that. And I thought he was brilliant. I thought no one was more deserving of let's call it the winning goal. It's the goal that essentially gets us 3 points. I thought he was a massive positive. See, on United, I don't know if this is going to make a lot of sense. I think it's fair to say that Arsenal maybe on the balance of 90 minutes kind of were a bit underwhelming. If they didn't win, I think we'd be saying, well, yeah, did you do enough? I'm not sure United did much.
But they didn't come to win. They didn't come to win the game. That's the difference.
That's embarrassing. Okay, now let me say for any United fans watching this, I understand you have injuries. Rafael Varane. All right, you've whipped on an £80 million centre-back. Now, we know he's not good enough, Maguire. I know, and it's maybe a bit disingenuous to just throw the price tags. And I know they've got injuries elsewhere. But you still had Bruno Casemiro Eriksson, your first choice midfield out there. You still had £90 million Anthony on the right, Rashford on the left in his favourite position. Martial, you brought in a new signing, £70 million striker Højlund on. United had some moments and chances, don't get me wrong. But across 90 minutes, it wasn't until you mentioned we got a leggy, I thought you were right. I thought we looked exhausted in the last 20 plus added time minutes. That was when I thought they started to come into the game. But until we tired, I didn't see them do anything. I was actually quite underwhelmed by how little. I think I haven't heard this firsthand. Were you watching the Sky commentary, Jordan?
I was, but I was in a pub, so I didn't hear you.
Well, apparently Gary Neville said something like, Man United are pretending to be good on the ball. Did you hear that quote?
I didn't hear that, no.
So I apologize to anyone in case I've got that quite wrong, but apparently he said that they were pretending to be good on the ball. But anyway, whether he said it or not, I know exactly what he means by that. There was a lot of passing it around and looking neat and whatever. They weren't doing anything. Once again, Rashford scores because of a mistake from Kai Havertz and their first shot on goal. It's just like the most classic thing. And even though I don't think we were good and we were great, I thought we looked the aggressors. I thought we looked the team that actually wanted to win the game. And I think ultimately the better chances fell to us. Havertz should have buried that and didn't. Bukayo Saka should have buried that and didn't. And the funny thing is, it's only those 2 other chances. But the others that came our way, Rice, Jesus, and Ødegaard, we actually took. So I don't think United are exactly worthy of some result. I don't think they put in a performance that they should be overwhelmingly happy about. But I understand with their injuries, they probably just wanted to come for a point, and they nearly got that. The other thing I wanted to talk about, I was following the Man City game on Saturday. Honestly, I couldn't watch it, so I was just kind of keeping up with the stats and the scores and whatever. 1-1 going into the 46th, 47th minute. They've had 3 shots at home to Fulham. Now, I understand that Arsenal are not fully up and running right now. And I understand that they've got 4 wins out of 4 and they end up winning that game 5-1. But a goal that should have been disallowed, from a header, puts them 2-1 up in a game in which by that point they've now had 4 shots by half time. Yeah. Man City aren't scintillating right now. And I'm not trying to make excuses for Arsenal because I thought Arsenal struggled to find rhythm and I was a bit disappointed with their performance as well. But I still think it's too early for me to say that, I'm really concerned that the performances aren't there. I'm not that concerned. It's disappointing, But more than anything, going into international break, home to the team that finished third last year, I just wanted 3 points, and we got it in the most euphoric of ways. So I'm happy, even though there are concerns.
You know what it is? Obviously, I tend to become used to this, but with Jordan especially. But I didn't want to start with the negatives, but we kind of have in a sense. So I want to put my 2 pence in since we're talking about it. We was close to dropping points to another team that we beat last season.
Yeah.
And really, we need to be turning the draws and losses from last season into wins. We can't afford to be turning wins into draws. You know, we pulled it out the bag in the end. And I think back-to-back draws with Fulham and United could have been very damaging for our chances. It's not the end of the world. It's game week 4. But like I said before, with City, I haven't seen anyone catch them. I haven't seen anyone go toe-to-toe. It's more so Liverpool, the way they ran away with it. And Arsenal could have if results towards the end of the season went our way. But being so close makes me go with Jordan in terms of the performance wasn't great. But when it's Man United, I don't really care. We got the 3 points, so I'm not going to worry too much about it now. And we've got Everton away next. Now, for Everton away, I think there needs to be some sort of change, hopefully, with Havertz. Because, in my opinion, Vieira's come on 2 games in a row and helped change the game. Now, there's one argument that will say that's why he's on the bench, because he can come on and change the game. Similar to other players, I've said the same as Eddie. But if you do it a couple games in a row and the person you're coming on for essentially has done nothing in 4 times the amount of minutes in over the 2 games, I think it's time to start thinking about that. There's 2 weeks now, and it is Everton away next, and Everton are really poor. That should be another healthy win for us. That's when I'll kind of see how we return from this, and if after 4 game weeks and 4 to 6 weeks of the season starting, how much more this new tactical approach or this new approach with Havertz joining Odegaard in essentially being a second 8 or a second 10, how it will work moving forward. But like I said, the main thing after Fulham was the 3 points for me, and I was Havertz missed, Saka's missed. They was both awful. But I'm not going to dwell on it. Because 10 points out of 12 is solid, and we just keep it moving. And I hope.
So it's quite easy, but the only reason why I hear that, and if we'd have drawn it, we'd all be sore right now. But I just think, and I totally agree with Turkish in terms of City are a madness, and if you get caught too far behind, you're out of it before you know it. But I don't think at this stage it's about necessarily keeping up with City. I think it's about being in the pack come Christmas. That's how I look at it. I don't think you have to be within 2 points of them come Christmas. I think you have to be within 4 or 5 points of them. Just stay close to them, because you've still got to play them, and you never know what can happen. I hear what you're saying, but I think at this almost what happens there at the Emirates.
And I just cut you there. Last season, we was 5 points ahead of them, and we still had to play them. And look at it. So being 5 points behind and still having to play them, it doesn't exactly sound. But
I think the difference is now we've got arguably a squad that can handle the second half of a season, injuries, fatigue, etc. I just think that right about now, it's about getting the performances in the system correct, so that when we come to the second half of the season, what happens there at the Emirates is supposed to happen in March. That's supposed to happen in April. And if it happens in April, I take it. Cool. Because at that point, then it is just about get the wins. At this point, it's about putting the performances that are going to get you to March in a title race. Because right about now, you play like that for the next couple of games, Everton beat you. Everton a dog. But if we don't get our stuff together soon, we can get slapped. Can we just quickly talk a little bit about Havertz as well? Because
let's talk about it.
Because I've defended Havertz quite a lot, and I player cammed him. I did that really old school nerdy thing today, but for the first 35 minutes, I player cammed him. He wasn't good. He was not good. The chance he misses is a shocker. Cool. I almost felt a bit sorry for him with the penalty, because I think he needed that. when he won the penalty, I was so glad that it was him that won it, and then it got overturned and took it away from him. He wasn't good. And I'm not saying take him out, keep him in. I'm trusting Arteta to kind of see that through. But I think it's fair to say, even someone that's defended him, he was not good today. I'm looking at all the other players, and I know what they can do. I know what Martinelli offers. I know what Saka offers. I know what Odegaard is pressing like a madman. Declan Rice is covering the midfield like a madman. I'm looking at Havertz and thinking, what are you doing? Like, are you looking for an incisive pass? Are you looking to drive with the ball? Are you looking for long shots? What are you looking to do? And that for me is concerning. And what's going to really concern me more is as the game is built up, there'll be clips and reels that will go on social media of all the mistakes and missed passes and missed shots and all the giving the ball away for the goal. That will build up very, very quickly. And then there'll be a louder noise about why he's in the team.
And Jordan,
God,
it's like I just need to. I'm not going to go in on him. We won the game. I just need to see the guy do something with conviction.
Yeah.
Just like it's so unconvincing. And you know what's crazy? We've actually used that word conviction on this podcast and in previous shows. We have said, I'm not asking you to come in and be Kevin De Bruyne or even pick up where Xhaka left off immediately because Xhaka ended the season fantastic. I'm not even asking you to do that. But at least whatever you are involved in, have some purpose, put your foot behind the ball and do. And the big chance he missed and then the pass he gives away for the goal, both are a complete lack of conviction. With that chance that falls at him, he takes a touch, doesn't he? Am I right? I think he takes a touch or something. I can't remember.
I think he's in,
Like, so that's even worse. Like, arguably, if you're taking it first time, because it's kind of deflected, maybe he doesn't expect it. He set himself and he just sort of just F's it up. All right, it can happen, but it's just like a bad moment. But then the pass that leads to Rashford's goal.
That was more concerning for me.
A bobbly, kind of slightly under hit, not realizing. What did we say? Turkish, you were there next to me on the watch along. I said, look how far up the pitch Rice has just pressed. So if I can notice it from my TV, I'd hope the people on the pitch who are shouting and communicating with one another can understand that. And when Havertz goes to play that pass, he recognizes, I cannot get this wrong, put my fucking foot through it, and he gets it wrong again. Now, we're not going to spend 20 minutes of this podcast bashing Kai Havertz because ultimately we won. I think he's a little unfortunate with the penalty, but I think probably not. But anyway, I just want to see him. I actually think the minute he starts putting conviction, when he makes a run for Martinelli, sprint into that space, drive into it. Because at least then, if you don't get the ball, you've made the defenders think that at least you really want it. And then Martinelli can do something. Everything just felt so tepid until and Vieira wasn't Vieira's Fulham cameo, but it just had purpose. Even if he was just knocking it short,
just before you come in, Lee, just very super quickly, but interested to see after the international break when Partey's fit again, if Partey goes back into midfield at the expense of Kai Havertz, because although I'm cool with Kai Havertz staying in the team, if that's what Mikel Arteta wants to do, I don't think Havertz will stay in the team for much longer. I think he's got another 2 or 3 games to really prove that he can do something, because I'll be real, at times it felt like we were playing with 10 men. And that was the same thing I used to criticize Mesut Ozil for. That silky pass, that one bit of magic is worth it because he doesn't do anything else. But when he does it, he's not even giving us that one bit of magic.
Yeah.
I'll ask a question, and I thought about it today. For the penalty, do you think if he was confident, he wouldn't have gone down? Because he was through. He burst through. There's no need for him to go down. But I think because he felt the contact, he's gone down. I think if he was, like Vieira was like last week, if he'd have, say if he'd have scored that goal in the first half, I think he would have burst through it. Because I tell you what, it was a good burst.
It was,
burst through past 2 players. That's what you want to see. And he's completely through. So it seemed to me like I don't want to really criticise him, but the easy option was to go down. When he's playing his game at the minute, it's the easy option with the pass. Easy option. I think he's a player lacking confidence.
Yeah,
I really do. Now, how do you get confidence? I think you ease your way back, ease your way in it, coming off the bench when the game's a little bit open and whatever. I do like some of the stuff that he does today. There's a couple of things he puts himself about. There was a couple of challenges he puts himself. But really, if we're going to be really honest about it, it's not enough, is it? It's not enough. No. We're not seeing enough for what we're seeing. And I'm now at this place where, listen, I know I have a little dig about it. Oh, well, if you work hard in training, you get a game under Mikel. I also think if you're coming off the bench and and changing games and making things happen, you deserve to start. And I think Vieira now has done more in those 2 cameos than Havertz has done in the 2 games. Now, James come up with a great point. He wasn't as dynamic as he was against Fulham, but I tell you what, he probed and he pushed with the ball. And when it mattered, Vieira, the pass for Jesus was something that I haven't seen Havertz do. And now people, and we've all played football. The first half of a game of football, if you ever play, is always that little bit more intense, that little bit more quicker and all that. It opens up a little bit in the second half. So maybe Arteta could do him a favour by bringing him on in those last 20 minutes when when players are a little bit tired and it opens up a little bit, and just build his confidence up that way.
And I want to say that I'm glad Jordan mentioned Saka's performance earlier, because when I did full-timer, on AFTV, people were saying, oh, you're talking about Havertz, but you're not talking about this player. And it's like, well, we have, but whatever. But, I think it's right we're consistent, because Bukayo Saka also was poor today.
Again, I thought he was very poor today.
Yeah.
That's the worst game I've seen Saka play.
I think it might be.
And that's, listen, he's entitled to a bad game, guys, every now and then.
That's the thing.
But I felt you have to give credit to the fullback. He never got past him once.
Mm-hmm.
What I would notice, and I don't know if you noticed, and please watch it on TV and all that, when Saka got the ball, particularly in the first half, 70 minutes, Rashford was right up there doubling up on him. I didn't see the same conviction when it was Rashford. Saka wasn't getting back as much as Rashford. So while I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, well, there must be something. You haven't got to worry about your defensive duties as much. So if you're not worrying about your defensive duties so much, you have to perform in the attacking part of it. And I thought he was poor today, if I'll be really honest, But I'm sorry, he has got a lot in the bank.
Exactly.
No, I agree. Just go back to Vieira. I'm not actually an advocate for Vieira to start the next couple of games. I think he's got to do a bit more. I've never seen Vieira start a game for Arsenal and convince me. So it's well and good coming on in the 60th minute, 70th minute and changing the game, which he's done. I need more than 2 games of that.
Yeah,
so I'm not for Vieira starting the next game.
I think Brentford last season, I'm sure he started that game. And
he played well in that game. But
Jordan,
what you're saying is right. But when you've got someone like Havertz who's not performing, you're going to get there must be I think James said it. Earlier on. You could actually play Jorginho in the midfield.
Yeah, that's why.
By the way, I don't know if any of you see it on the TV and all that. He's giving out instructions when he's warming up and everything like that. And when you could actually play him in the side. There's going to be a time when these players are going to start thinking, "Hold on a minute, I'm working at why is he getting this preferential treatment over me?"
I'm with you. I'm not necessarily saying that Kai Havertz has to definitely stay in the team.
No,
I'm just saying that if you're taking out Kai Havertz, I'm not putting in Vieira. That's what
I'm saying. You could put Jorginho in. I'm not saying who you can put in there. What I'm saying is, listen, Kai Havertz. I'm not bashing him here. He has got. He's been given. If you're being given opportunities, you've got to take them, boys. You know what I mean? This is not. I'm not sorry. This is not Sunday morning football or a charity game. This is the real deal. You've got to perform.
This is also where Mikel Arteta's management comes into effect now, because elite managers fix this problem. Whether it's take him out, whether it's have a word with him, whether it's work on him a bit more, whatever it may be. I'm looking at my manager now to try and fix this problem. Just briefly before I move on as well, it's another dirty sheet. I hate dirty sheets. It's another game at home and it's dirty sheets. That Rashford goal, it's such a poor goal to give away. There's 2 defenders, Saliba and White.
Him in his right foot.
I thought Saliba was great, but I can't help but think he doesn't help White there.
The thing is,
both of them poor.
None of them properly close him down. But if you're who was in front?
On the left side.
White was in front.
White was in front. If you're Ben White, you have to be thinking at all costs, I'm blocking this shot. Because if he dummies him and beats him, he's got Saliba behind to kind of still deal with. But for none of them to get close to him, it's a poor goal. It's a poor goal. I'm sorry. That goal can't get scored. There's too many cheap goals and too many dirty sheets. I'm not having it.
And to be honest, you know, I'm a big fan of Ben White, and I thought we defended really well after that. But he has got to take the blame for that. And everybody goes on about Saliba and all that. Like, he was poor as well. Get him out on his left foot, and if he shoots across, Ramsdale saves it. Like, you know he's going to cut inside. I thought he was poor.
He scored the same goal last year. Pretty much.
Poor defending. And we've got that in our locker. Poor defending.
I think, obviously, we can talk all day long about whether the performance is up to the level yet. And I think we all pretty much agree in some way, shape, or form that we expect more. Whether we're worried about that or not, you know, that's another story. But we've just talked about Vieira. I want to not necessarily talk about Vieira per se again, but I want to talk about one of the positives, or the big positives I've seen this season, especially over the last couple of games. We've got players that can change the game off the bench. When was the last time? When's the last time we could say that?
This is too positive. Let's get some more negative, Turkish. Get some more negative.
You've gone for 30 minutes. The comments are already saying, why is everyone moaning? I can't believe this. Just know
that's just us three.
Everyone's moaning because of Jordan. But let's go to that positive, because that's a big one.
Yes.
Depth. Now, we've just come off the back of the transfer window. And I think, you know, I speak for James somewhat as well, when especially at the end, we feel somewhat maybe underwhelmed or light on the light side in a couple areas on the pitch.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've also got to, you know, talk about what I've observed over the last couple of games. Eddie coming off the bench, helping change. Vieira against Fulham, same thing. Today, Vieira and Jesus coming off the bench to help change the game. Finally, we have that in the back. And even concerns with this new tactical approach, yes. But if you have got players that can essentially save you, and I think that's what that's what it was today, because they really did change the game. I think before that, United did kind of look like they was going to create the best opportunity on the counter. I think that's a massive pro, because this is a serious question. When the last time Arsenal had a player off the bench that we was all confident could change the game? Well, who was the last player?
Nicholas Bentner.
Giroud.
Are you serious?
It was Giroud as a target man. No, I was joking about Bentner.
Giroud was only a backup for 6 months.
I know. Even you're right. He wasn't.
I wouldn't even class him.
I don't know.
Exactly. My point is here proven that this is my thing. That we can't think of the answer. We can't remember the last time we've had quality off the bench that not only we can believe in, but they're also showing us why we can believe in them. So yeah, Jordan, as hard as it is, can you wrap your head around that positive and give?
I can, Turkish.
Talk about how positive that is, Jordan.
I will, because the positive and the strength of that point is that the person who I was saying after about 75 minutes, I really wants to come on, I thought was the obvious pick to come on, didn't even play today. It was Trossard. I thought we needed somebody that was more direct and could drive with the ball, because no one was driving with the ball. Saka was just dud. Martinelli looked like he had no more questions to ask his fullback. So I was thinking to myself, why don't we try to... Eddie Nketiah, he burned out after an hour as well. The obvious stuff for me was Trossard. So to still get the 3 goals and the 3 points, and we didn't even bring Trossard on, I think makes your point, Turkish, that the strength in depth there is definitely... Jorginho didn't come on, I don't think, today.
He did just after.
Oh, did he?
2-1 up, yeah.
So you're right, he did. Sorry, he did.
Yeah. Substitutions today, guys, were game changers. I thought they were fantastic substitutions. I've got to say that, like, you know.
It was a secret. Go on. Sorry, delay.
Our bench was. I looked at it and it was stronger than theirs, and that's a good thing. Like, you know, you can only have, I think, is it 25 players in the squad anyway, and we've definitely improved on that. And looking at that bench, as you say, like, you know, there's Smith Rowe on there. You know, Tommy Asu come on and done a decent job when he come on. Kvyat didn't even get on. You know, there is a much stronger bench here. I have to say,
Nelson.
Guys, Nelson come on and done well when he come on as well. But
I thought he did okay. I thought he had urgency.
He had urgency in there. You know, it's hard to come on as a substitute.
He did. He was urgent.
But I think it's a big confidence booster from the manager to give it to Vieira to come on. And I like the substitutions today. Like, I felt that Eddie worked really hard for an hour, caused them problems, and then you know, Jesus come on with, you know, he just sprinkled
What a
magic
goal.
as far as I'm concerned. Just
Mm.
sprinkled
What
a
a
little
goal.
bit of magic on it. But, you know, unbelievable goal. And what you need, guys, it's somewhere along the line is that, you know, you've played 60, 70 minutes and then you've got him coming on. You know, that's soul destroying. Like, you know, I thought the substitutions at the right time as well were really, really good today. You know, maybe I'm going over the top because of, you know, the euphoria of the game today, but I think it was so important to win that game. And, you know, I look at Man United and I felt that they were looking like to hit us on the counter attack. They see the weakness in that, you know, because I think it is a weakness in Arsenal, like, you know. And then I looked at Mikel today and I felt that his substitutions were, I'm not happy with a point. I want to win this. And, you know, listen, I think these substitutions and the substitutes are key to success nowadays. You know what I mean? It's not an 11-man game now, is it? It's those substitutes coming on and doing the business. I felt that they were game changers against Fulham. Poor mistake, let us down. I thought the substitutions were. I thought they really contributed really, really well.
I was just having a little giggle, thinking of Dallo still sliding somewhere.
Was it Dallo that was?
Yeah. Well, I thought it was Evans at first, but I think it was Dallo.
He had to pay to get back in, James. I tell you, like, I mean, it's unbelievable, right? I mean, but no, it was a fascinating thing as well. I don't know if you really noticed it. It was a fascinating contest between Wan-Bissaka and
Martinelli.
I thought
we saw that.
I think that Wan-Bissaka is a very, very good defender, but he was took to his limits today of his defending powers against
Lee.
I thought it was a fantastic match.
I'll be real. Up until the Garnacho disallowed goal, so up until about 75th, 80th minute, he was the man of the match for me. He was for me the man of the match. Wan-Bissaka. Yeah, he locked off Martinelli. He didn't do anything today.
No, he didn't.
You can't say that.
Oh, no, I thought it.
What did Martinelli do today?
He got round him
a few times. Assist for Ødegaard, won us corners. I thought Wan-Bissaka would tell you that was one of the hardest days in town.
I thought Martinelli
lovely
tried.
little back flip to start it off for the first goal.
Okay, he got the assist. I forgot about the assist. Okay, yeah. But beyond that,
I honestly thought it was a tremendous battle between two players really going at it, and
they both had their moment.
Be at his very, very best to contain him today. And I thought, I'll tell you what, he's a very, very good defender.
Yeah, I mean,
he was making last-ditch tackles. I was really impressed with it. I thought it was, maybe because it was down my side on the second half, I thought it was a fantastic battle. I'm really intrigued by it.
A sub that hasn't been mentioned, I'm quite glad because I wanted to give him a special mention, was Tomiyasu. I thought he came on and he didn't change the game for us, but he did really well to keep things going. Zinchenko wasn't his best. I'd give him a 6 out of 10 today, maybe a 7. He was
a bit,
he was kind of a bit, you could tell it was
tough game to come in for his first game, though.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and we'll give him all that. He defensively did nothing wrong, so that's fine. But Tomiyasu came on, and not only did we not lose anything technically, I thought we looked really good looking after the ball in tight spaces. But whenever they tried to come out, he was there to cover, win the ball back, and ensure that we stayed, camped in their half. And that only really happened after the Garnacho disallowed goal. We had no sustained pressure all game until they had the goal disallowed. And then we had a moment where Reece Nelson, there was a moment like Reece Nelson tried to run past someone, then he lost it, but they didn't quite clear it. We won it back, then we went again. But I felt just in those moments, Tomiyasu did quite well. And I was happy for him as well to have that kind of contribution because after the red card.
And a good point there, James. Bringing on Nelson today, when probably Trossard would have been your favourite to come on, but he put him on there, a little confidence booster. That I just going to have to say, I thought the substitutions today all contributed. What I mean? Maybe in the highlights package, You know what I mean? Jordan.
Shut up. I thought of one more negative, one more positive. Actually,
when are you going to think of a positive?
I've got one each. I've got a positive. I think the equaliser, the response to going a goal down. I thought not only was the football what I like to see from my football club, the football was just brilliant, but just the response, we've gone a goal down, but okay, that's fine. We're going to stick it back on you now. So I thought that was a brilliant response from the team. The negative, corners, which was ironic because the winner came from a Saka corner. But I thought the corners from Saka and Martinelli today were awful. Yeah. They were crap. They were really, really bad. Really bad.
That's how you really feel.
Yeah, it was bad, man. Really, really poor quality. I thought for the whole game today.
I've got a question.
And we tried a couple of things as well from the corners. That's the
we did, yeah. I got in an argument with the full-time comment section.
Really? Again?
Yeah, I know, again, right? They don't like me on full-time. Forever Arsenal comment section.
Surprise.
I know. They're all tactical insight haters. So I should say I misspoke, which is probably why they got on to me, but then they were still getting on to me, so I explained. I said Odegaard and Saka were poor. Now let me finish. Laurie kind of went, Odegaard. I went, no, that was wrong. I grouped them together. I shouldn't have. But I didn't feel like Odegaard, particularly on the ball, had a great game. I think he worked incredibly hard and it was a great goal. But I didn't think he was anything special. And then the comment section was flooded with, he was really, really good. He was immense. He was brilliant. He was one of the man of the matches. He was as good as right. I just want to know what everyone else.
I'm glad you mentioned that point there, James, because in one of my football WhatsApp groups, there were Man United fans in the groups, and this was at half time, and one of the Man United boys said, if Arsenal had Kevin De Bruyne, we're 4-0 down. And I thought that was really interesting because I think what they were, in terms of, I think the point he was making was if they had someone of that elite creative level, there was food to be eaten. And I think what they were basically saying was that Odegaard is of a level, and I think he played well, but if he was really on job, he would have unlocked a few doors that I don't think he did. I thought his endeavour was great. I thought he was okay on the ball without being great. I mean, I wouldn't lump him in the same category as Saka for sure, but I don't think he was as great as the comments you're saying. Well, I don't think he was man of the match or brilliant, but I don't think he was as poor as Saka or some of the other players either. I thought he had a 6, maybe a 7 out of 10 performance today because he got a goal and he got a good goal. So
it looked really good finish, and he loves that finish. Turkish, we never spoke about it. I mean, what did I miss something in the performance? I just want to know because everyone, when the comment section is so overwhelmingly like you're wrong, I was like, did I miss? I
think much quieter than usual. No shout for man of the match. Definitely not as bad as Saka and Havertz, but I think it was a quieter game than usual, and you're well within your rights to think it wasn't his best game. Look, a lot of the first half we were saying we're hardly attacking down Saka's side. It's all coming down Martinelli's, and one of Odegaard's big pluses is how well he connects with Saka. So I think the proof is put in that it wasn't his most imposing game. Let's say, not saying it was bad, not saying it was great. The goal makes it good because it was an excellent finish at the perfect time. And as the captain, that's how you take it by the scruff for the neck straight after being put down by that goal that came against the runner play essentially.
And a big thing for me is if you're not playing well, what's the next thing you do?
Score a goal.
Work hard.
You work hard. You work as hard as you possibly can. If it's not happening for you, and I think that his work rate today was sensational.
Amazing.
But I didn't think he was great. I also think that, guys, once Jesus comes back in the side, I'm not knocking Eddie when I say this. I do think that he'll bring the best out of Odegaard because the movement and the quick little interaction ones. If you go back and have a look at that game, the last 20 minutes when Jesus comes on, look at the times that the ball goes in there and it is a little bit more fluent. It's a little bit better, and that's not having a go at Eddie. It's just it is. You know what I mean? So, but for me, I didn't think Odegaard. It's one of those games when it's a tough one for. I felt for did Bruno get into it? Certainly not.
No.
Did anybody that? No. So I think it was a difficult game. But what I did see from Odegaard was a class finish, because that's easy missable, by the way.
I saw nothing from Casemiro. No. Martinez gets injured from a rash challenge he made. He's been making them all season.
Should I smile at that? Should I smile on that?
No, don't
Do you know
smile
what?
injury, but I mean, I smile that he put in a shit tackle on it.
I ain't
didn't go
forgiving
how
him
he
for that
wanted.
cheap one in America. He knew that he could do a cheap one on Saka, knowing that he weren't going to get done. And he done it again today and he's got injured. I hope he's out for a long time. There, I've said it.
By the way, well, that's not good of you, is it, Lee?
No, because he's trying to do him, isn't he?
Jordan, you do crack me up. Lee goes, when you're not playing well, what can you do? And I said work hard. you said score a goal.
Well, and he done both.
Well. What do you do? Grab a hat trick.
He done both.
Grab a hat trick.
But no, it's about working hard. And do you know what, guys? I think as a captain, he sets an example. He sets an example. He sets an example.
That'll cheer me up. If you're not playing well and it's not happening, just score a couple goals. That's all we ask.
But if you're not playing well, that don't normally happen. You know what I mean?
Unless you're a striker, then you pick
I've got to say, can I just say one thing about Man United as well? Like, you know, I've got to say, there's players in that team that I actually like Spurs players more than some of their players in their team. Like, you know what I mean? I really, I cannot stand that Martinez. I cannot stand Bruno. The only one that I really like in there, and he's a bit of a dirty sod, and always Casemiro. But, you know, I don't like Harry Maguire. The goalkeeper.
Apparently, the Emirates cheered. Apparently, when he came on, the
Emirates his name, James. One Harry Maguire.
I mean, that's outrageous. They weren't even winning.
Oh, Harry Maguire. That's what they started singing.
That's outrageous. We're drawing. We are playing poorly.
How arrogant is he? Like, you know what I mean? That was great, by the way. When they got the goal, he's come running up to the fan. Get back in your goal. Get back in your goal and let one in a couple of minutes. You silly swine, you know what I mean? Fantastic. You know what I mean? Rashford's all right, but that other one, Anthony, another one. Oh, there's so many of them. There's so many of them that are horrible. And the manager, he's not very graceful, is he?
They've so much.
Yeah, they've got problems.
He's Ferguson with no hair. That's what he is.
Go on.
I did think Højlund looked a handful when he came on.
Yeah, he did.
Gabriel did well because Gabriel suddenly had to change the game. Like, right, this fresh leg kind of wanted to make a point in his debut. 6'4" strikers come on, and actually Gabriel. It's funny because I think a lot of people will think that Højlund caused Gabriel a lot of problems, and he did. But I think Gabriel answered every single question.
Yeah.
Just doing enough.
Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. Brilliant, say Gabriel. Yeah. Brilliant.
But who's your man of the match today, guys?
Rice. Declan Rice.
No,
Declan Rice, then Gabriel.
I would say Gabriel for me.
Declan for me.
Right, I'll be honest.
Yeah, those slide tackles in the first half were unreal. I was like, how's he
do you know what today? Casemiro started going. Did you notice him going out wide? He didn't fancy it against him. I loved it.
Hey, we did nothing.
Nothing, yeah. And listen, it was the perfect end to a iffy game at times. Perfect way to go into international.
Well, it is. As soon as this is finished, I'm going to go and watch Match of the Day again.
Watch it's on record. Listen,
it's worth a watch.
We're going to be back next week, so that's when we'll do the predictions for the Everton game. This is usually where we go into a mini preview and the prediction section, but we'll do that next week. Obviously, it's international break, so Everton away, we'll preview that and predict that next week. But obviously, there's an update to the prediction table that probably only one person wants to see here, and this is the update right here. It's coming home. It's coming home, lads. Very early days,
guys. We got to stop this, man. We got to come together to stop this because he's pulling away.
What is it?
It's not good.
Still, how comes I'm still bottom?
Oh dear, yeah.
It's alphabetical. It goes. So when you're level on points, J is above Voldemort.
Yeah, what did you go, Jordan? You went for a draw. You went for a draw. Yeah?
No, I went 4-1.
You went 4-1.
J is above Voldemort. For the people listening,
Lee missed that one.
He's just pretending he didn't hear it.
Well, that means I'm going to be well down. If I'm Voldemort, I'm going to be well down the bottom. I'm not like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm going to put a spell on you, Potter. I'm going to put a spell on you.
That's kind of a joke he was making, but yeah.
Yeah, he's 8 point. Oh, that's 5 point lead early. That's like Man City. He's getting away.
It
He's
is.
like,
Yeah,
I'm going to start calling him Pep.
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind at all. Listen, people, as you can tell already from the mood in the camp, if you're listening on audio platforms, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, all of those, because we do release it on audio platforms too. So make sure you're showing some love there. This is how the table stands going into international break. I am
Yeah. We get it.
Should be on Fourever if it weren't for my stupid game.
Am I good to go, you lot, or anything else you want to throw in?
carry on.
No, okay.
We're good.
I'll reiterate. I am top.
Oh, what a day.
Yes, people. I am top. 8 points, 2 correct scores. Jordan's in second, 1 correct score, 5 points. And James and Lee are some way off. 3 points apiece, no correct scores. Love for the love, people. Hit the like button. Let's get it to 1,000. And let's bring the haters back in.
I never said nothing, man. I never
Disgrace.
said
Absolute disgrace.
The best it was covering his face that whole time.
The whole time, yeah. The power's gone to his head.
I'll tell you what, though, you know. Oh, everybody's going mad around the ground and I'm standing there going, well, I said, now that Turkish just got 3 points.
Yeah. The Emirates erupts except for one man.
He's just there. Right. But we move. People, predictions for Everton, like I said, will be in next week's show. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure the notification bell is on. And I want to talk to the lads about the Champions League draw too, because we've returned and the Champions League draw has come
back.
And we've got a favourable draw. I think it's fair to say Sevilla, PSV, and Lens. A lot of people are mentioning it's a Europa League type draw.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a group we should go through. Top.
I'll go pretty first. Yeah, just a couple of quick points. The first thing is I was disappointed with the amount of people that were saying, "Oh, I don't want to play Bayern Munich. Oh, I don't want to play the big boys." It's like, what are you doing? You don't keep telling me that we're a big club, but you want to tiptoe to the Champions League final. A movement. Listen, there are certain results in Arsenal's history that still scar me. And the 2-5-1s from Bayern Munich will never, ever leave my... That for me was just possibly an all-time low, the 8-2 aside as an Arsenal fan. But we're back in... We've worked hard to get back in the big dance. And now you want to be tiptoeing around the big boys. It's like, nah, man, let's go for it. If we get knocked out, we get knocked out. And it's almost more embarrassing if you don't qualify out of this group. So I didn't like all the talk around, oh, I hope we can get the little teams. It's like, that's little boy behavior. Forget that. But secondly, more importantly, I'm really keen to see how Mikel Arteta manages the team in the Champions League. Shut up, Lee. I'm really keen to see how Mikel Arteta manages in the Champions, because it's his first time in the Champions League. And we've not been there for 7 years. So although we were there for 25 plus years, I get it. We've got pedigree in the competition. We might have to almost relearn to have to play at that level of football and navigate. Do you know what I mean? Kind of group stages. We've not been there for a long time, so I'm really interested to see how well we do in this.
Yeah, Jordan, I can't remember the last time 3 games in a week really mattered to me.
Yeah.
Now, okay, it's some of the Europa League knockouts, but I mean on this frequent a basis, we've now got, because you know what's funny about the last 2 seasons, especially for this first half of the year, we've been watching the first team go out, and then I think at AFTV Turkish, that obviously we're excited for every game, but there's been a sense of, oh, okay, we're playing Thursday, right? And we know it's not the first team. We know it's going to rotate a lot. So it's kind of a lot of conversation about, well, how strong would you go? And almost every preview for Thursday night is actually really a preview to how you prep for Sunday. So, well, you need him for Sunday. So we have now got like legitimate games coming up that everyone keeps saying Europa League group. I don't go that far. I think favourable is the way I'd put it. I don't see Europa League group. Because, you know, those teams are the teams that I would consider the higher end of teams you might get in the Europa League group. You wouldn't get all 3, if that makes sense. So, okay. Arteta now, you know, we've got 3 legitimate games where, let's say this happened the other side of the international break, or we're here all euphoric and yes, we've won 3-1, late goals, whatever. Okay, 4 days, you're back in action. Wednesday night, and it's the Champions League, and you don't get as many goes at it. And that's going to be really interesting to see how they deal with it. But yes, largely, of course, we'll be happy with that group. I keep forgetting the other team. Who have we got? PSV,
Lons
and
Sevilla.
Sevilla, I keep forgetting. Sorry, I always see PSV as like the harder group, but no, Sevilla were pot 1. So, like, this is what I mean. Like, Sevilla, they're only Europa League in the sense they always win it when they're in it, but we never win it when we're in it.
Right,
So
that's a good point, James. We're talking about this being a favourable group. We couldn't have been the Europa League. So let's not get our cocks out too early and start thinking like, look, we're the favourites. Of course we are.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk football. I don't know.
What's he got carried on?
Hey, what's going on here?
Let's not get too bossy. You know what I mean? You know what? Forget it.
Why didn't you say that in the first place? You know what I mean?
I thought you were mature guys. That anyway, go on.
Thought we were mature guys.
Mature. The only thing mature in my house is the cheese. I tell you,
Oh my days! No wonder
I'm done.
8 a.m. instead of 11 p.m.
Yeah,
dear. I know kids are watching this.
Are we done now?
Midnight ones are mad.
I'm knackered.
Do you know what? Like, one thing of just going on the draw, which I think forget about it. I think it's a good thing. Is the travelling. You know, like it's only like it's an hour to Holland. It's an hour. You know, you don't even have to get a plane to France. You can go by Eurostar. I know that the players probably won't, but they can if they want. And Seville, you know, man, ain't a bad little trip there. You know, we ain't got no real long.
Yeah, I know why you're happy about it, Lee. This nice trip to Seville. You know, off with Julian and Cecil on your adventures.
Looking forward to Seville. You know, probably go to Malaga. You know what I mean, and just trottle off over there, like, you know, a bit of Porto Banús along the way.
They near each other.
And a few oranges. I certainly won't be getting the clocks out. I'll tell you that now. Like, you know what I mean?
Are Seville and Malaga close to each other?
It's not that far.
James,
because I tell you what, like,
only a 3 hour
Googling now.
when you go to these places, what happens is like to go to Seville now will be about
a 3 hour drive.
Yeah, that's about right. 3 hour train. No, because what happens, I'll tell you this straight up, guys, you know, anybody wants, there's a useful bit of information going to Europe. If you go to Seville now, right, it's probably about 60, 70 quid by EasyJet. On that week that Arsenal going, I bet it's 500, 400, 500 pound there. Like, just check it out. So what you have to do is go to different places just for cheaper things, like, you know. So say if you're playing Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid, flying to Valencia, it's a lot cheaper, like, you know what I mean, and things like that. That's all I'm saying. So, you know, listen, we might well fly into Seville, but I bet we don't.
For more travel advice, follow up.
All the Judges Air Tours, they're very, very good, reasonable prices.
The Arsenal fan at Ryanair right now is like, right, they're on to us, guys. They're on to us.
Yeah.
They've worked it out.
Yeah. He's thinking his job's on the line. AFTV are expanding into travel.
You will mock, but it's a little bit of advice, like, you know what I mean? So just check that out. I bet if you check that out, I bet going to Seville now isn't that dear. But
if you leave this podcast with anything, go check out flights to Seville.
Instead of watching the Tactical Insights tomorrow, check it out.
Book yourself.
Check out flights. I guarantee you'll have a better, interesting time doing it.
Harsh.
Listen, people, we've passed the hour mark, so hopefully we've passed the 1,000 like mark. Double check for me, people. If we haven't, hit the like button. If we have, hit the like button anyway. Let's get up to 2,000. And we're going to move into that part of the show where it's comments of the day before we wrap it up. Everyone ready for comments of the day?
Yeah, I've got one.
I don't have one again. Sorry,
Jordan.
guys.
This is 4 weeks in a row.
I know. So I've been slack. So I can't even defend myself. It's been sorry.
What did you say last week? You said you're welcome to someone.
They were crap last week. No, yeah, because they were. I looked through them and they were crap last week. But this week I didn't even look.
He never sees. He just sees the negatives, doesn't he? Come on, like, you know.
He doesn't look at them and he just goes, "They're crap."
They're crap.
You've used that excuse twice now. I don't think it's going to run the next time.
They were crap 2 weeks in a row.
I like the comments, I do. It's a
Go on, fill me in, Lee. Fill me in.
I've gone for a very positive one this week. Shall I go?
Yeah, no, that's all.
I really love this podcast. From its name to the people providing their football insights and knowledge, I was eagerly awaiting since yesterday. I'll always support Arsenal forever. I do feel well at all when we're let down, but it is all even when we're supporting the team. That's I don't really know what that's there. That's what Arsenal means to me. Forever Arsenal, and that's from GAR99, GAR99. But I thought it was a very, very positive thing.
That's a beautiful message.
Big up,
Shame
Gar.
we absolutely butchered it.
Yeah,
But
well,
it was.
I've got my
Yeah.
reading glasses on and all that. I always support Forever Arsenal. Do not feel well.
All right, we get it.
when I'm looking at it. I don't really understand that. Like, he's obviously not well.
He picked out the comment of the week and he said he doesn't understand it.
No, but I like the
That was
first
a
bit.
lovely message.
James, what you got for us?
Let's move on.
Just Tom says Arteta has done a masterclass. We have become unpredictable. We can concede a goal from anywhere. Have not.
I like that, man. I hope he gets to work tomorrow, all right, Mikel. I tell you that. I don't know what route he's going to go, but I hope he does all right.
Oh, there was another analogy about Havertz and his wife or something.
Yeah, he's gonna be a heat for that online as well, actually. But
You need, you know,
Unfairly
Mikel,
so.
I get it. Fighting talk this week. You got your win. That's great. It's just
sometimes just shut your mouth. Just you know what I mean. Just
no,
relax.
that's too far. But just
That's too far. I've got one. I had the one James said, but I have got a few saved. So I'm gonna go with the one from Christopher Leach. Best YouTube show around. When I feel low, this show brings me back up. The combination of banter and football analysis is consistently on point. Stay forever, lads. You're welcome. LOL. He got the "you're welcome" in before Jordan could.
that is brilliant. I only just clocked that. I was
So did I. Yeah.
Referencing last week. But yeah, keep them coming, people. Listen, I know Jordan hasn't been on job the last few weeks, and he's been put in the comments.
I will next week. I promise.
He's a
I will next
slacker.
week. No, I will next week. I will. If they're better, I'll read one out. But they've been crap recently. So just
If they're better, so the challenge has been set. People make them better, and Jordan will pick one out next week. We all pick one out once a week, every week, and obviously we will be back next week. It's international break, so we'll be previewing the Everton game next week, talking about lineups, predictions, all the usual. People, just make sure you're subscribed, put the notification bell on. Any last minute thoughts that we haven't covered in this show, Jordan, Lee, James?
Nope.
Yeah, I
Well,
just got one thing to say that the Man United fans have been very bitter online at the moment, like, you know, wanting penalties and free kicks and everything like that. Let's enjoy it and enjoy the day, enjoy the next week or so at their expense.
agree.
Yep. I agree with that.
Call it a day, people. Call it a day. Hit the like button. Hope you've enjoyed. Leave us your comments. Leave us your thoughts. Make sure you subscribe. Love for the love, people. We've just beaten United 3-1. It's now international break. But remember,
What is he doing?
Oh, sorry. I thought-
30 seconds to the end of the show.
Sorry.
He's got his clocks out, and he
Yeah.
like, yeah.
We're outroing and he's there trying to turn his camera off.
Sorry, I thought we just.
We done, yeah.
I think he's on a promise, guys. I really do. Like, you know, I think he's on a promise.
James is a prick.
Turn this off.
James is such a prick.
people, love for the love.